our sleeper quarterback of the week. Sleeper, the number one fantasy hosting platform out there right now. Check them out. Sleeper.
You know what I like to sleep in? Levi's. The next guy, Will Levis, not Levi's. Levis.
Why do I imagine you sleeping with Levi's on, but you also like have a cowboy hat over your eyes? You got a dip in. You got like that. That was the picture I just had.
An accurate photo. I mean, that's exactly how I sleep, so that makes sense.
I wear cowboy boot slides.
All right, so Will Levis.
Cowboy Croc.
Never in my life will I have Crocs on my feet. Quarterback Kentucky, 6'4", 229 pounds. He had 10 and 5/8 inch hands. Jeez, oh man. Also didn't do much running. He did a broad jump, 124 inches. He's 23 years old, so a little bit of older prospect. Last year, he had 2,406 yards passing, 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and not a great rushing total, negative 107, because in college they count sacks against your rushing total, which is pretty stupid. Year before, 376 yards rushing. So he can rush, and
that's one of his better attributes.
Yeah, actually has shown it pretty nicely.
And to be fair with Will Levis, he played hurt all year.
Yep.
So he had the turf toe, which is
that's hard.
Bad. I mean, he got the turf toe after like week 5 games in the season. He got the turf toe.
He's throwing the freshman all year too.
Yeah, he had multiple injuries. He had the ankle, the shoulder, dislocated finger, the turf toe, which he had to work with all year. So because in 2021, his PFF grade was 90.6. Last year, 68.6. What was around him, the freshmen, which are high-quality freshmen.
Yeah.
But
freshmen nonetheless.
The turf toe, the shoulder injury, the dislocated finger, the freshman, it hurt him in 21.
Mm-hmm.
22. Yeah.
So.
What do you think about him, Rich?
What year is it?
21, they had Wendell Robinson.
So he originally signed with Penn State. Then he transferred to Kentucky. This is a prospect that he's very intriguing, right? So this is a guy. This is a guy that has great NFL size and a very strong arm with a very quick release. I mean, this guy can put the ball anywhere on the field. Played in a pro-style offense, can make those strong throws while on the move too. So he's really impressive when he's on the move as well, still making those strong throws. And this is somebody with his size can run into the end zone. He has in 21, he had 516 rushing yards total without the sacks.
Okay.
I saw him put the ball in some really tight windows. His career completion percentage, 64.9%.
Mm-hmm.
Last year's tape, it's a little funny, but if you watch his 21 tape, some of it is better than his 22 tape. But this was a guy that also, according to PFF, 5% of his throws were behind the line of scrimmage. So that's a lot of behind the line.
A lot of screens.
65% completion percentage. His pocket presence is okay. His accuracy needs to be better. But, I mean, I feel like a lot of his issues are his lower body mechanics. Like his feet aren't like perfectly great. And if you could fix that, which, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks lately been fixed.
And I feel like a lot of the time it is the footwork that's all screwed up. Their feet aren't underneath them, and they don't have a solid base. They're throwing all these weird platforms and everything like that. And that's the one thing he is. He's consistently inconsistent. And he could do a much better job, I think, with ball placement as well, like leading his receivers and putting it in a place where they can have yards after the catch and stuff like that. So he does have some things to work on in that area, but footwork was a thing that I had written down as he needs to clean this up. He's got some work to do here. So hopefully, this is a case where this is one of the cases where, you clean up the footwork and it kind of travels up and the accuracy and kind of consistency comes with it.
His decision-making sometimes makes some questionable decisions. 25 interceptions, 17 fumbles he had in college. Doesn't lead his receivers all the time. Like he doesn't anticipate as well as you want him to. Struggled in the red zone this year. Took way too many sacks. Like you said, his rushing numbers were down. He had 10 sacks, 4 interceptions in the red zone. Now he was pressured 35% of the time when he dropped back. I think it was like the second most in his class.
That was one of the biggest things I want to talk about is the difference between, and we talk about the weapons, but the difference between his offensive line his junior year versus his offensive line his senior year. Drastic difference. And we know that that's huge for the entire offense, being able to have time to throw, being able to actually, do stuff in the the play action game and things like that. Like he needed to have that time and he just didn't. But there were a lot of things like, I mean, when we're talking about measurables, he's got the measurables. He's got the size, he's got the build, he's got the look, he looks like a quarterback.
He's got a gun too.
He does.
Absolutely.
And it's really quick.
Yep.
And it's really smooth.
It's different.
It is.
His release is really
it sounds different. It looks different. I've
never seen anything like his throwing motion.
Yes, it is very,
it's like
very
a flick.
It is. It comes out very naturally. So he's got a lot of those raw tools that you look for in a quarterback. But the opposite of what I saw in Bryce, it took him a little bit longer to get through his progressions at times. It took him a little bit longer to process things. Sometimes things would just happen a little bit slower than you wanted it to. Not that he can't improve in that area, but he's got to clean up his eyes and how quickly he's seeing the field.
And that's worrisome, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, going from Kentucky to the NFL, if you're processing slowly there, I mean, hopefully the hope is that you can get faster at that stuff, because he does have a quick release, like super fast. So, like maybe that gives him that little extra bit of time to process because he can get rid of the ball so quickly. But you need to have that cleaned up. That needs to be quicker. That needs to be faster in the NFL, not slower.
And there's some parts of me that thinks like, okay, he's got these freshman receivers. He's got a terrible offensive line. He's dealing with this turf toe shoulder injury and dislocated finger. Like, is all this just like in his head for 2022? But because when I watch him, I see what he could be, like the next Justin Herbert. That's what I see, like for ceiling wise.
Sure,
like
totally.
He could be Justin Herbert when you're seeing somebody do a rope 50 yards downfield right on the chest of a player. Needs coaching. Like Garrett said when we started, a lot of people have warts here. He's got warts. Why? He's my 4th rated quarterback. But if he gets drafted in the top 10, I'm taking him top 5 in my Superflex startup because he could beat Justin Herbert. That's what he could be.
I have the question in my notes. Is he going to, like, I don't know what he's going to be yet. I don't know if he's going to be Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, that type of guy. Or
Jameis Winston.
Or is he going to be like Carson Wentz? You know what I mean? Like flash a little bit, but have too many turnovers, never kind of get it all pulled together.
Has red hair.
Jake Locker.
And then all of a sudden, it just never comes together for him. And he bounces around for a little bit, but then he's out of the league. Like that, those are the outcomes I see for a guy like Will Levis. I don't know which one. I don't know which fork in the road he's going to take. Is he going to put in the work? Is he going to become, is he going to master all the footwork that he needs to do? Is he going to start speeding up that processor and really dig in and learn the game? And that way it comes that much more natural and that much more quick. And, pair that with his quick release, his ability to run the ball, and everything is married together and it looks great. You know what I mean? He could be that. And so there's a ton of upside with him there.
By all accounts, that's the kind of character that he possesses. Is he's a guy that's going to stay late, work, put the time in, and try to become that. So,
I mean, that's great news.
Trying to guess which quarterback is going to like blossom into who is like, it's tough for us to do.
It is absolutely.
It's tough for NFL GMs to get paid millions of dollars to do.
That's why if he's a top 10 pick, we kind of just have to throw the dart.
And it's nice when you see it out of Alabama. We expect them to win games. You're a quarterback for Alabama, like you don't have to be that good to win a lot of games.
Sure.
At Kentucky, you have to be pretty good to win a lot of games in the SEC.
You absolutely do. And another thing that I forgot to mention about Bryce Young, and we can bring it right into this conversation, he wasn't making a lot of tight window throws. He didn't need to. These guys were wide asses.
That's true. That is a very good point.
And a guy like Will Levis here in Kentucky, he's got to make tighter throws. You know what I mean? He's got to make some of those kind of throws. So I do like seeing that out of maybe, the smaller school guys, maybe not the top of the rung in college football. Those guys have a tendency to have much better weapons around him.
And for Will Levis, when he got turf toe in week 5, he had to miss multiple weeks a game. He missed 5 games. They lost 4 out of 5 games, and they were just bad again. And to his credit, when he came back, they won. They made it their bowl game. They won their big bowl game because of him as well. So, like, he helped Kentucky put Kentucky on the map. Like, Kentucky's always on the map, but you know what I mean? Like, he helped Kentucky play good football. It was all because of Will Levis, like all of it. So, the potential is there. Like his ceiling's much higher than Bryce Young's. Like
I
if
agree
he
with
hits.
that.
Much higher.
I agree with that totally, because he the numbers don't bear it out, but he can add something in the running game as well.
Yes.
In the NFL. He can do the zone read stuff and get you some cheap yards here
He's a
and
good
there.
athlete for
yeah,
sure.
he absolutely is.
And he's got the size too to take that beating
6'4",
and
230
be able to
pounds. Yeah, he could be
get
scoring,
across the goal line. And
He's kind of like a crazy man, like when he scrambles.
A little too much
He'll
sometimes.
jump over people and lower his shoulder. Like,
Yeah.
And that was
kind
what
of like Josh Allen.
that was
in
what
a
put
way.
Josh
Yeah.
Allen in my brain a little bit, because he does kind of throw his body around a little bit, but he's got the size to back it up. He's not 245 like Josh Allen, but 230 is a pretty solid quarterback.
And I heard a lot of Josh Allen, like when studying Will Levis, but like I kept going back to like, now granted Justin Herbert's like 6'6", but like I kept going with his strong arm more to like Justin Herbert. That's why I go.
He doesn't have Josh Allen's arm. He's got a strong arm, but it's not elite like Mahomes
I agree.
or Allen.
Yeah,
No,
I agree with
it's
that.
more on the quick release. Yeah.
But I would say like if I'm sitting at 1.5, so again, this is all presumption he's going top 10. If I'm sitting at 1.5 and Will Levis is there, I feel really good about that. Like I feel like I have a really upside player here.
Yep, I agree.
I have a player here who's probably not going to help me year one that much, which is I'm fine with if I'm at 1.5. I'm not even stuck in the middle. I'm kind of the bottom tier. So him not coming in, other people get helped out, be a better position to draft higher in 24 as well. So the 24 class, that top 5 is going to be super elite, just to let you know. 24, you're going to have Caleb Williams, Brock Bowers, Trayvon Henderson, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like you want a top 5 pick. So he will also help you in that position as well. So if it doesn't work out, you'll be fine in 24 as well. So